Hey everybody, I'm Zach, not the one putting on this amazing event, although I do like that one a lot. I am the co-founder and CEO of a company called Deft, which is next generation e-commerce search. And since this is the Marin Sonoma Impact event, I wanted to share with you how I got to Marin and also how Marin indirectly inspired the problem that we're solving today. So, rewinding it way back, I grew up in a small town in South Carolina, and in 8th grade, a friend introduced me to a video game. And the founder of the game had created his own programming language that allowed you to construct the game however you wanted. And a little bit like Minecraft, but more customizable. And from that moment forward, I was hooked on programming. I spent all of my waking hours building levels and adding game mechanics, so much so that my dad actually took my internet away from me, and I ran up a big bill on his credit card for dial-up internet free trials that he still complains about today. So even though I was building websites when I was a kid in high school, engineering, computer science, and startups weren't even on my radar when I was going to college. So I graduated with an economics degree, and I felt like I had no better idea of what I wanted to do with my life than when I started. It wasn't until a friend of mine got me a job interview at a prestigious finance company in DC that I sort of woke up to what I wanted to do with my life. The morning of the interview, I was supposed to head to the airport to fly out, and I just couldn't do it. Couldn't get on the plane. I knew that if I got on that plane, I would never explore my passion for engineering and building things that I loved. So the next day, I applied for a job at an e-commerce startup, and I eventually got it, and I started building my first company. And that same friend called me, and he said, hey, Zach, if you're building a company, you need to be in the Bay Area. So I booked a one-way ticket to SF, and I slept on his floor for a couple of weeks while I figured things out. I will never forget my drive into the Bay Area in the middle of the night. It was dark, it was like 2 a.m. I was driving up the 101, and the houses on the hills lit up was just beautiful to me. And I kid you not, the very first Uber that I got into in the city, a guy was pitching his startup to the driver, which is ridiculous. Coming from South Carolina, I had never experienced anybody talking about startups before. And so I really felt like I was finally in the right place. Something else I hadn't experienced before is how expensive this place is. So I needed to get a job, and I landed a job across the Golden Gate Bridge in a town I'd never heard of called Sausalito, and at an e-commerce brand. So looking back, I consider myself incredibly lucky to get the chance to have escaped the city every single day, and really felt like I was getting the best of both worlds. So when my now wife and I were looking for a place to spread our roots, Marin was at the top of our list. And so Marin holds a very special place in my heart. And it's also, thanks to those jobs that I worked for, the reason why we started working on this problem that we are today. And the problem is this. The average shopper spends 15 hours across 12 different websites over 79 days trying to make a purchase decision over $50. That's crazy, right? And what's even more unbelievable is that number is increasing instead of decreasing. So how is that? How is it with the introduction of so many incredible new technologies that the problem of searching and finding things online is getting more difficult instead of easier? So let me share with you one of our customer shopping journeys, and you might start to understand why. Her name is Emma, and she was looking for a pet-friendly sectional. So she starts her search by typing pet-friendly sectional into Google. And the first results that come up are irrelevant advertisements and some directions to a department store. She scrolls further, and she gets over SEO links, followed by more advertisements. So she hops over to Amazon, where she's bombarded with slipcovers from sketchy brands like HTCAXKJ, some microfiber towels, and food containers. Emma then reverts to the only brand she can remember, like Article and Crate & Barrel and Restoration Hardware. But the process of searching and filtering and cross-referencing products with review sites leaves her frustrated, exhausted, and making this post in the top right-hand corner on Reddit, which is where we found her. So there's over 2 billion products on the web and growing every single day. When we saw Emma's post, we asked ourselves, what if you could get the right one instantly every single time? So that's what we've built. Deft is a search and discovery engine built for accuracy. Instead of having to visit a bunch of different places or cruising through pages of junk on Amazon, our users can use natural language, images, or a combination of both, as well as some AI tools to find the perfect product. And more recently, we're allowing our users to generate their creative visions and then use our search engine to bring it to life, which is truly magical. So how do we do this? We use ML models, and we've also built a new type of knowledge graph database and a reasoning engine that understands significantly more than the tools that are available today. And the results speak for themselves. We have tripled the e-commerce conversion rate versus the benchmark, and our users save hours of search time and buyer's remorse, which is probably why over half of our users are weekly active users now. So we are a scrappy team of 4 people, 2 of which are based in Marin. Our vision ultimately is to make e-commerce search as accurate as talking to an expert and as easy as asking for a recommendation from a friend. So again, I'm Zach, we're building Deft. That's my time, thank you.